Welcome to our channel. Today we're talking about the book The Stranger in the Lifeboat by Mitch Albom.
Oh, this is a good one.
It really is. This book takes you on a whirlwind of emotions,
Yeah.
as it tackles these big themes of hope and despair and faith and doubt.
Yeah.
But above all, it's a testament to the power of the human spirit to endure even the most harrowing circumstances.
You know, what captivates me about this book is how Albom just throws us right into the heart of the dilemma. Like, imagine yourself stranded on a life raft. You're lost at sea after a luxury yacht sinks.
Oh, man.
Resources are dwindling, hope is fading, and then a stranger just emerges from the depths, claiming to be God.
That's a scenario designed to make you question everything, right?
Right.
It makes you wonder how you would react in such a situation.
Yeah.
Who you would choose to believe.
Exactly, and that's where Albom's genius shines through. He doesn't just tell a thrilling survival story.
Right.
He uses it as a springboard to explore profound questions about faith, human nature, and the stories we tell ourselves to make sense of the world.
Okay, so let's dive into the story itself. We experience this incredible journey through the eyes of Benji Kearney, a simple deckhand working on the opulent Galaxy yacht, owned by the controversial billionaire Jason Lambert.
Benji, our narrator, is far from a glamorous celebrity or a powerful figure,
Right.
like some of the other survivors. He's an everyman, someone we can relate to, whose life has been shaped by personal struggles, including a deep resentment toward his absent, wealthy father. This immediately adds a layer of complexity to his perception of the stranger's claims.
That's an interesting point. It's as if Benji's past experiences with wealth and privilege make him inherently suspicious of anyone claiming divine authority. It makes you think about how our own backgrounds and biases might shape our beliefs in extraordinary situations.
Absolutely. Now, let's not forget the other survivors who find themselves clinging to this raft for dear life.
Right.
We have a diverse group, a microcosm of society,
Yeah.
each bringing their own baggage, beliefs, and anxieties to this terrifying ordeal.
Right. There's a wealthy businessman used to being in control, a British media mogul always seeking the next big story, a French hairstylist focused on appearances, even in the face of death,
Right?
a Haitian chef finding solace in his culinary skills, and a distinguished Indian businesswoman struggling to reconcile her pragmatism with this unfolding mystery.
This clash of personalities creates a pressure cooker environment
Oh, yeah.
where fear, distrust, and desperation simmer beneath the surface. It's a potent reminder that even in the face of shared adversity, human nature persists, with all its complexities and contradictions.
And then, into this volatile mix, enters the stranger, emerging from the sea and claiming to be God. Talk about a twist.
The stranger's arrival just throws everything into disarray.
Yeah.
It forces the survivors and us as readers to confront the fundamental question, what do we believe?
Right.
Some, desperate for salvation, cling to the stranger's words with unwavering faith, seeing him as a beacon of hope. Others, like Benji, view him with skepticism, questioning his true identity and motives.
It's fascinating how Albom portrays this clash of faith and doubt. It feels so authentic, so reflective of the internal struggles we all face when confronted with the unknown. I found myself constantly questioning who I'd side with, who I'd choose to believe.
An album masterfully amplifies this tension through the stranger's demeanor.
Yeah.
He's calm, almost unnervingly so, and his pronouncements are often cryptic, leaving the survivors to grapple with this ambiguity. Are his words divine pronouncements, or are they merely the ramblings of a man lost at sea, his mind playing tricks on him?
It's like he's holding a mirror up to humanity,
Right.
forcing us to confront our own insecurities, our own yearning for something to believe in, especially when faced with life's fragility.
Precisely. And then, to further complicate matters, we have these perplexing events unfolding on the raft,
Right?
blurring the lines between the miraculous and the mundane.
Right. Like the seemingly miraculous revival of Bernadette, a survivor who was on the brink of death. It's a moment that leaves everyone reeling, wondering if they've just witnessed divine intervention.
Bernadette's revival is a turning point in the narrative. It strengthens the faith of some while fueling the skepticism of others. And then, in a stark contrast, we have the sudden disappearance of Mrs. Ligari, another survivor.
It makes you wonder if Albom is intentionally playing with our expectations,
Yeah.
highlighting the unpredictable nature of life, the constant interplay of hope and despair.
He certainly keeps us on the edge of our seats, constantly questioning whether these events are truly supernatural or just random occurrences that the survivors, desperate for meaning, are interpreting as signs.
Aye.
And speaking of searching for meaning, it's impossible to ignore Benji's own troubled past, which adds another layer of intrigue to the story.
You're right. We learn about his difficult childhood, his strained relationship with his deceased mother, and his intense resentment toward his absent, wealthy father. It's as if his past experiences have made him wary of anyone in a position of power, even someone claiming to be God.
And this resentment isn't just a personal struggle for Benji.
Right.
It's reflected in a larger societal context through his connection to his cousin Dobby, a rebellious soul who harbors deep anger toward the wealthy elite.
You know, sometimes in life, we all need a little boost, a reminder that we have the strength to overcome challenges. That's why I want to take a moment to recommend Affirmify Journey, a fantastic YouTube channel dedicated to uplifting and motivational content. Their videos are a great way to find inspiration and stay positive. Now back to our deep dive. Dobby's anger leads him to hatch a dangerous plan, sabotaging the galaxy. And Benji, aware of this plan, chooses not to intervene, a decision that will haunt him throughout the ordeal.
This moral dilemma adds a chilling dimension to the story.
It does.
Benji's inaction, his decision to remain silent, leaves him grappling with a profound sense of guilt. Did he inadvertently contribute to the tragedy? Was his silence a form of complicity?
It's a question that weighs heavily on him, forcing him and us as readers to consider the consequences of our choices, especially when those choices involve remaining silent in the face of potential wrongdoing.
And as if this moral quagmire wasn't enough, Albom throws us a curveball, a shocking twist that redefines everything we thought we knew about the story. It turns out that Alice, the seemingly innocent child on the raft, is the true Lord all along.
I have to admit, that revelation completely caught me off guard. Throughout the story, Alice remains silent, a passive observer. And then in a moment of quiet power, she reveals her true nature, offering comfort and guidance to Benji.
Alice's revelation challenges our preconceived notions of how divinity might manifest.
Right.
It's a brilliant subversion of expectations, reminding us that appearances can be deceiving, and that sometimes the most profound truths are found in the most unexpected places.
And her message is one of forgiveness, hope, and the enduring nature of the soul. It's a message that resonates deeply, especially given the trauma and loss that these characters have endured.
It's a message that speaks to the core of our human experience, reminding us that even in the darkest of times, hope and redemption are possible.
But just when we think we've grasped the story's mystical core, we're introduced to a character grounded in logic and skepticism. Jardy Lafleur, a police inspector on the island of Montserrat, where the life raft eventually washes ashore.
Lafleur embodies the voice of reason, the skeptical observer trying to make sense of the incredible story Benji has recorded in his notebook.
Right.
He's battling his own personal demons, grappling with the loss of his daughter, and a deep skepticism towards faith.
He's immediately fascinated by the notebook, captivated by Benji's account of events. And as he delves deeper into the mystery, he becomes obsessed with unraveling the truth behind the galaxy tragedy.
Lafleur's investigation adds a new layer of complexity to the story, forcing us to question the reliability of Benji's account.
Right.
Is his story an accurate depiction of events, or is it a fabrication? A way for him to cope with the overwhelming guilt and trauma he's experiencing?
It's a question that hangs over the entire narrative, adding a layer of suspense that keeps us guessing until the very end.
Albom's masterful storytelling weaves together these multiple threads: Benji's personal struggles, the stranger's enigmatic pronouncements, the perplexing events on the raft, Alice's stunning revelation, and Lafleur's relentless pursuit of the truth. And it's through this intricate tapestry that he explores profound themes of faith, doubt, the nature of truth, and the resilience of the human spirit. You know, one of the elements that I find particularly impactful is how Albom weaves in those actual news segments about the passengers lost on the Galaxy.
Oh yeah, those are good.
It's as though we're getting glimpses into their lives before the tragedy struck.
It's so effective. We learn about their families, ambitions, dreams. It makes their loss feel so much more profound because they become real people to us.
Right. Not just names on a passenger list.
Exactly.
Exactly. We see their accomplishments, the impact they had on the world, and then it all gets cut short. This technique adds a layer of depth and realism to the story, reminding us that tragedy can strike anyone, regardless of their wealth, status, or accomplishments. It really emphasizes that shared human experience.
And the way Albom contrasts the opulence of the galaxy with the stark reality of the life raft It's such a powerful visual.
Yeah.
It's almost symbolic of the fragility of life, how quickly things can change.
It's like he's saying that no matter how much wealth or security we build around ourselves, we're all ultimately vulnerable to the whims of fate. And this vulnerability makes the survivor's reactions to the stranger even more fascinating.
Right.
Do they turn to faith out of desperation, or is there a genuine flicker of belief there?
That's such a good point.
Yeah.
And these news segments are particularly poignant when they highlight the contrasting reactions of those left behind.
Right.
Some families cling to hope, while others are consumed by grief and anger, searching for someone to blame. It's a raw depiction of the different ways we process loss.
And this rawness makes it all the more relatable. There's no right or wrong way to grieve. It's a deeply personal experience. And Albom captures that complexity beautifully. He doesn't shy away from those messy, contradictory emotions that accompany loss.
There's one news segment that really stuck with me. It focuses on the family of the Haitian chef, how they're trying to reconcile their grief with their faith, holding on to the belief that his spirit is still with them.
Yeah.
It's incredibly moving.
It is. And it speaks to the power of faith to provide solace in times of unimaginable pain.
Yeah.
But even for those who don't find comfort in religion, there's a sense of closure that comes with the eventual discovery of the wrecked galaxy on the ocean floor.
It's bittersweet, of course.
Right.
But the discovery offers tangible evidence, confirmation of what was previously just speculation and agonizing uncertainty. It allows the families to finally begin to process their grief and move forward, knowing the truth.
That sense of closure, even if it's tinged with sadness, is so important for the healing process. And then there's another element that adds to the mystery. Those cryptic letters received by some of the families after the life raft is found.
Those letters are chilling. They arrive seemingly out of nowhere, offering messages that echo sentiments expressed by the deceased during their time on the raft.
All right.
It's almost as if their spirits are reaching out from beyond the grave.
It's one of the most intriguing aspects of the book. It leaves you questioning everything.
It really does.
Is it just a bizarre coincidence? A cruel prank? Or is there something more profound at play? Albom doesn't give us any easy answers, which in a way makes it all the more unsettling.
It certainly plays on our deepest fears and hopes about life after death. And it makes you wonder if our connections to loved ones truly transcend the physical realm.
And just when we think we're starting to grasp the story's spiritual implications, Albom introduces the concept of confabulation through Inspector Lafleur's investigation. Confabulation, that act of confusing imagined memories for real ones, becomes a possible explanation for the inconsistencies and fantastical elements in Benji's account.
Such a clever narrative device.
Yeah.
Suddenly, we're forced to reconsider everything we thought we knew about the story and the characters.
Right.
Is Benji a reliable narrator? Or is his account skewed by trauma, guilt, and a desperate need to believe?
It makes you question whether everything we believe is actually true.
Right.
Our minds can be incredibly powerful, capable of both incredible creativity and startling deception, especially when we're under extreme stress.
It's a bit unnerving, isn't it? To think that our memories, which we often consider to be the foundation of our identity, can be so fluid, so open to interpretation.
It certainly challenges our assumptions about the nature of truth and how we perceive the world around us. And this exploration of subjective reality goes beyond Benji.
Right.
Even Inspector Lafleur, the epitome of logic and reason, begins to question his own perceptions and beliefs as he delves deeper into the mystery.
Lafleur's journey is almost as compelling as Benji's. He starts as a skeptic, someone who's lost his faith and relies solely on what he can see and touch. But as he investigates, as he immerses himself in Benji's words, his worldview starts to shift.
It's like he's being forced to confront the limits of his own understanding, and this confrontation leads him down a path of self-discovery, making him reconsider the possibility that there might be more to life than what meets the eye.
There's a scene where Lafleur is standing on the beach looking out at the vast ocean, and he says, "The sea is full of secrets. Maybe we're not meant to know them all."
Oh, wow.
It's a moment of quiet surrender, of acknowledging the vastness of what we don't know.
That scene perfectly encapsulates the book's central theme. The need to embrace the unknown, to accept that there are mysteries in life that may never be fully explained. And perhaps it's in this acceptance that we find a deeper sense of peace, a willingness to let go of our need for absolute certainty.
You know, it makes me think about all the times in my own life when I've clung to a particular narrative, a way of explaining things that made sense to me.
Yeah.
But what if, like Benji, My perspective has been clouded by my own experiences, my own biases.
It's a humbling thought, isn't it, to realize that our understanding of the world is constantly evolving,
Right.
constantly being shaped by new information and experiences, and that sometimes the most difficult and ultimately rewarding journey is the one that leads us to question everything we thought we knew. And that's where the brilliance of The Stranger in the Lifeboat truly lies. It doesn't offer easy answers or neat resolutions. Instead, it presents us with this kaleidoscope of perspectives, forcing us to confront the subjective nature of truth.
It's like Albom is inviting us to step into the shoes of each character, to see the world through their eyes, to understand how their experiences have shaped their beliefs.
Precisely. And this exploration of multiple perspectives is crucial to understanding the book's central question: what truly happened on that life raft?
Right.
Was the stranger a divine being, or was he simply a figment of the survivors' collective imagination, a product of their shared desperation?
The book doesn't give us a definitive answer. And that ambiguity is both frustrating and incredibly thought-provoking.
Because in the absence of concrete answers, we're forced to grapple with our own beliefs,
Yeah.
our own interpretations of the events. And this grappling, this internal wrestling with uncertainty, is where the real journey of the book lies.
It's like Albom is saying that sometimes the most profound truths are found not in the pronouncements of authority figures, but in the quiet spaces of our own minds, where we're free to question, to doubt, and ultimately to choose what we believe.
And that choice, that act of choosing our own truth, is ultimately what defines us. It shapes our perceptions, our actions, and our interactions with the world around us.
It's a powerful message, especially in a world where we're constantly bombarded with information,
Right.
often with conflicting narratives and competing claims of truth. The Stranger in the Lifeboat encourages us to take a step back, to embrace the ambiguity, and to find our own compass for navigating the complexities of life.
And to recognize that our understanding of truth is a journey, not a destination. It's something that evolves as we grow, as we experience new things, and as we engage with different perspectives.
You know, this whole conversation reminds me of a quote by the philosopher Søren Kierkegaard. Faith is precisely the contradiction between the infinite passion of the individual's inwardness and the objective uncertainty.
That's a perfect encapsulation of the book's central theme. The character's faith, or lack thereof, is constantly being tested by the objective uncertainty of their situation. And it's through this struggle that they come to a deeper understanding of themselves and their place in the world.
And it's not just the survivors on the raft who are grappling with these questions of faith and doubt.
Right.
Inspector Lafleur, the epitome of logic and reason, undergoes his own transformation as he delves into the mystery of the galaxy.
His initial skepticism slowly gives way to a grudging sense of wonder, a recognition that there might be forces at play beyond his comprehension. And this shift in perspective, this opening to the possibility of the unknown, is ultimately what makes his character arc so compelling.
It's like he's learning to see the world with new eyes, to appreciate the mystery and the beauty that often lie hidden beneath the surface of things.
And that, I think, is one of the most valuable lessons The Stranger in the Lifeboat offers us. To approach life with a sense of curiosity, a willingness to question our assumptions, and an openness to the possibility of the extraordinary.
Because sometimes the greatest miracles are found not in grand pronouncements or supernatural events, but in the quiet moments of connection, in the acts of kindness and compassion that remind us of our shared humanity.
And that even in the face of tragedy and loss, there is always hope, always the possibility of finding meaning and purpose in the midst of the chaos.
Well, folks, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into Mitch Albom's The Stranger in the Lifeboat. It's a book that challenges us to think critically, to embrace ambiguity, and to find our own truths in the midst of life's complexities.
It's a story about faith, doubt, loss, and the enduring power of the human spirit. And it's a book that, like life itself, leaves us with more questions than answers.
If you're looking for a book that will stay with you long after you've finished reading it, a book that will make you think, feel, and question everything you thought you knew, then The Stranger in the Lifeboat is definitely worth adding to your reading list.
And remember, as we navigate the uncertainties of our own lives, may we always find the strength to embrace the unknown, to hold on to hope, and to believe in the possibility of miracles, both big and small.
And before we wrap things up, I want to mention a fantastic resource for anyone who loves to learn and expand their horizons, lingopediamagazine.com.
Oh, cool.
It offers a wide variety of insightful courses and enriching ebooks, covering everything from history and science to personal development and creative writing. It's a treasure trove of knowledge, waiting to be discovered.
It sounds like the perfect place for those who are always eager to learn something new.
Absolutely. And on that note, we'd like to thank you for joining us on this deep dive. If you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, share it with your friends, and leave us a like. We appreciate your support. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.